And this guy also getting 50 from right there.
The author.
Right there from that spot, Zach Hyman. And I love him. I love his progression of his career.
Me too.
And like 50 goals for him.
Look, he was in Toronto. He played on, obviously played on Austin Matthews' line. They were young players together. Florida draft pick.
Yep.
And this guy is a workhorse. And he skates. His skating was underrated. He was the ultimate forechecker. He was great on the penalty kill in Toronto. And he played with Austin Matthews. And the noise around it at the time was, why aren't Matthews and Marner and Nylander playing together? Why do you have this guy here? And Connor Brown was the other piece. Of the, you know, we had three top lines there. I was kind of stashed away down here on the bottom with the fourth, but it was he could play with them. He had the ability to get a puck back, and then he evolved, and he added a club to his bag year after year after year. He got to net, got more power play time. Thought about, how can I be most effective, and he perfected it. Like, I stood in front of the net a lot on the power play. I didn't sniff 50 goals. I didn't sniff 30 goals. I got 20 one time. It's not easy to do, and he's a bull. He's extremely strong. He doesn't just score from right there, but he does get quite a few goals from in the paint. But he's willing to go there. It's hard to score goals in the NHL, and he just got 50 of them. I don't care how you do it.
No, it doesn't matter. And this is the same conversation we've had about Chris Kreider when he got 50 too. Also, exactly. Right? And we showed that board, third oldest player to get 50 the first time. And, you know, look at the numbers, 50 and 19.
I love the side. I love the side.
50 and 19, that's hey, but the big 5-0, that looks really, really good. And here's
that's
the thing.
Zach Simon right now.
And I think that we both want the Cy Young,
right?
Zach Cy Young Man Award.
Yeah.
It's a tough stretch there. But
no.
When we're talking about this too, and I want to be careful because I know a lot of people, and we've fought that fight a lot on the show. And what you just said, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. I've had power play time in my career. I wasn't doing that. No, there's a lot of people that get that opportunity, and so he's doing something. He's unique in the fact that he played and had that chemistry with Matthews, now with McDavid. But on the other side of it, without taking away from that, this is talking about Connor McDavid, 91 assists this year.
Yeah,
and I think that this is another example of that, where you have a guy that hasn't really. I mean, what do you have? 36 last year? Was that where was he?
A lot of goals. Yeah, he was in the mid-30s.
Yeah, he had a lot last year, so we know he can score goals. But to bring him up to this level, and that's coming off of that's what's so interesting about Connor too. Is Connor had what 64 goals last year, and now he probably going to get 100 assists this year. So it's looking like a little bit different each time. I mean, I think it's a clear example of how good Connor has been as well, right? Now, he's going to be the only guy to get 100 assists outside of Wayne and Mario, right? Isn't that?
I think there's four total.
Four.
Oh, it's four total.
So maybe he's the fourth. Maybe he's the fourth.
He's the fourth.
Oh, he'd be the fourth? All right. Nonetheless, it's a lot. Okay,
it's crazy.
It's a lot, and here's the point leaders in the league. But man, I thought it was crazy. These two guys both happening on the same day as well.
Look, you know, here's the one thing, right? Like, we speak to hockey fans all the time. I just met some wonderful people on the plane back from Raleigh here to Jersey today. Early morning flight, 6 a.m., 4:25. Cold in the corner of your eyes. Wigsy!
Hardy's working.
Wigsy! Let's talk, man.
Hey, were you wearing a suit?
Today I wasn't. Today I was.
You dropped your guard.
I did.
Athleisure?
Yeah, I was full athleisure. I had on some J's. I had on a Nike hoodie. So, anyways, and two really wonderful people, that hockey fans. Both now hybrid, I shouldn't out them, but hybrid Kane/New York Ranger fans.
Gretzky, Lemieux, or I'm being told.
Sorry, there you go.
I apologize.
So
I apologize, Robert. I forgot about you.
He's the fourth. But the point is, a lot of times people will say, and you guys hear this yourselves, I could have played with him.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. You can't skate with him. You can't read the game. You can't have your timing. You don't understand the spacing. And then, by the way, you guys know this. You know those elite players that we played with? You don't want to get one of these when you get back to the bench.
No. You don't want to get one of those in practice.
You don't want to get one
with them.
Thank you. Imagine.
I'm not going with him.
So this is your point, Rupper. The 100 apples for him this year, for Connor, plus the 64 goals. On the other end of that is Zach Hyman.
Yeah.
Just like he was in Toronto with A-Mats, too. Like, that's hard to do.
This is the thing that always stuck out to me, and I remember having this conversation. I mentioned this to Tom Wilson when he signed his deal.
His extension?
Okay, he signed his extension.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people out there are like, what are you paying this guy that amount of money for?
Put him on my team tonight.
Here's the thing. The superstars. We've all played with the superstars, like the superstars. Yeah. If they don't want to play with a certain guy, guess what? You ain't playing with him.
He gone.
Okay? So the fact was, like, for that example, at that time, it was Tom Wilson playing with Ovi, and everyone's going to say, how are you paying Tom Wilson this and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? That guy seems to have no problem with it, because if he did, Tom Wilson would never be on his line. And you can say the same thing here, whether it's Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. If Zach Hyman didn't provide something for Connor, there is no chance he would see another shift with Connor McDavid. Am I right?
Got that right.
Well, absolutely. But here's the other flip side of the whole thing. Like we saw, and you mentioned Chris Kreider, right? So he had whatever 26 power play goals, a couple seasons ago, whatever it was.
On his 53.
What happened there was the power play didn't become less effective. Yeah. There's still an elite power play. The next year, he had 8 power play goals, right? Mm-hmm. People went to him. All right, now we're going to use our other weapon, and we're going over to Zibanejad for the one-timer, or we're going over to Panarin to walk the line. It doesn't matter if you have those weapons. If you have Ovi in the Ovi spot, right? You still have Oshie in the bumper. If you want to overplay one guy, you're going to the other guy. The one in Florida makes little sense to me because it's all going through Reinhart.
Yeah, right. There's not really like another trigger guy.
There's risk because they have good players, but it's just all going through him now. And with Hyman, your point was made perfectly. 64 goals last year for Connor McDavid. His hockey IQ is so high where it's not there for him. He's going to find the guy to get the goal. It doesn't have to be him getting the goal. The Oilers need the goal. Mm-hmm. And they have a number of guys in there that can kind of mix and match in that 5-man unit to have all of a sudden Zach Hyman gets 50.
Yep.
And he could also get 60.
That's why I love. We'll see where this ends up.